Senator Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm deeply grateful to the Senate President for her leadership and to all of our colleagues for speaking clearly and forcefully in defense of the values that we have long cherished here in Massachusetts and all across the United States of America. For each of us, our identity is made up of many different things. For me, I'm a husband. I'm a father of two wonderful daughters. I'm an American. I'm a resident of Massachusetts. I'm a state senator, great privilege that we share. And I'm an immigrant. I was born in South Africa in 1968, and I lived there until 1980 when my family emigrated to the United States. I grew up in the 1970s when South Africa was still under a racist apartheid government. As a white person, I did not directly suffer from the horrors of apartheid, but even as a child, I certainly saw what apartheid did to people of color and how it warped the society that I grew up in. My parents saw America as a place that had different values, a place where they could raise their children in a society that believed in justice and that believed in equality for all people, and where their children would certainly have opportunities that would not be available to them in South Africa. It was not easy for my parents. They had to leave behind their native country. It was the place they were both born in, raised in, went to school, had their careers. They had their friends there, family members, social networks. I greatly admire the courage of my parents. I don't tell them that as often as I should, but I know that was a difficult decision, and they made that decision for the benefit of their children. But my parents spoke English. It was their first language. It's my first language. They had the help of an American company that my father worked for in South Africa, and that company helped us relocate to the United States. They helped arrange for our green cards. My parents were also fortunate enough to have sufficient financial resources to be able to consider making a move like that. Many immigrants, especially refugees, do not have any of these advantages. Many of these people are coming from horrific conditions, war-torn places, places where there is political violence, civil war, famine, other deprivations, no economic opportunity. And it takes immense strength, determination that I just can't even imagine, resilience and grit for these folks to even think about leaving their native countries, as bad as the conditions may be, to travel thousands of miles to a place they've probably never been, they may not know anyone, or maybe they have a distant cousin, but to relocate themselves and especially their children is incredibly daunting. And nowhere is this more true than for those who are refugees. By definition, they have been dislocated. They've faced unbelievable trauma. Consider the fate of Afghan refugees. Many of these are people that actually helped the United States military and were part of the United States civil service efforts to try to help rebuild that country. They have put themselves in grave danger with the return of the Taliban in that country. And this is true for men and especially, of course, true for women. And some of these are people that have been through the full vetting process, that refugees go through, and are now supposed to be allowed to enter the United States. And at this point in time, the refugee program has been entirely frozen. It is just unimaginable to me, as I'm sure it is to all of you. Immigrants from all corners of the globe have long made Massachusetts and the United States stronger and richer. Many economists point to immigration as one of the key sources of America's dynamism and success through the centuries. Did you know that more than 25% of all entrepreneurs in Massachusetts are immigrants? The companies that they founded generate tens of thousands of jobs and billions of dollars for our state and national economy. Immigrant entrepreneurs have played a particularly important role in the biotech industry, one of our state's most important sectors. Immigrants founded such notable Massachusetts companies as Biogen, Boston Scientific, and Moderna. In fact, 1 in 4 of our biotech companies in this state has at least one founder who was born abroad. Immigrants, of course, are not just essential to our workforce and to a strong and vibrant economy. They contribute in so many ways to our culture and our well-being, from art to music to science to food. More than a third of all US Nobel laureates were born in another country. More than a third. Every Nobel laureate in the United States was born abroad. Since the founding of the Boston Symphony Orchestra in 1881, more than half of their musicians have been immigrants. I, of course, could go on and on citing similar statistics with the contributions that immigrants have and continue to make to our communities. International students are of great value to our higher education institutions and to our country more broadly. International students bring different perspectives and experiences to our campuses that US native-born students benefit from when they attend those campuses, those colleges and universities together. Many of these international students will stay in the United States, will stay in Massachusetts and the United States, and they will work and contribute their talents after graduation. The excellence of our higher education system and the fact that it attracts top students from all around the world is, in fact, a huge advantage, a huge competitive advantage for Massachusetts and for the United States. Now, of course, we need an orderly process for managing immigration to this country. I certainly understand why many Americans have concerns about immigration, given how broken our current system is and has been for a long time. But this is something we can and should fix in Congress. Today, our country is led by a president who demonizes immigrants. Many of his administration's policies, immigration policies, are clearly unlawful and unconstitutional. They are cruel and inhumane. And they are misguided and just plain dumb. What they're doing is inflicting great suffering on individuals and families who do not deserve to be treated this way. And they are damaging our state and our national economy and our nation's future prospects for growth, for innovation, and for international leadership. In the weeks and months ahead, we will all need to have courage. Courage to stand up for our immigrant neighbors and others who are vulnerable and who are being targeted. We must continue to be guided by our values in Massachusetts, where we believe in the dignity of all people. I am deeply grateful to our state's leaders for their clear convictions and their moral clarity in opposing the immigration policies of the Trump administration, especially Senate President Spilka, Speaker of the House Mariano, Governor Healy, Attorney General Campbell, and our congressional delegation. Thank you all.